as I was growing up, as a young toddler, being surrounded with family and friends all the time who loved me and supported me and accepted me obviously for who I was and what I was, I didn't know and didn't even realize that I was different to everybody else. I mean, I looked different, I knew that, I'm sure I knew that, but I didn't think it was such a big deal because I knew that I was just like everybody else, just looked different. And I guess the first time where my mum tells me that I realised that I was different to everybody else was when I went to kindergarten. And on my first day, she said I just cried and cried and cried and didn't want to go the next day because all the kids would tease me and point their finger at me and laugh at me and reject me, and I felt very much alone when I went to kindergarten. And I always had support from my parents and my family always to just know that I was special. Everybody told me, Nick, that's okay, you're just special. I didn't want to be special, you know, I wanted just to be like everybody else. And as I went through school, I learned how to do things like everybody else, like write with my foot and type with my foot. As I grew up, I started asking questions to mum and dad, knowing that now I was different to everybody else, and people asked me what happened. And I didn't know. You know, I couldn't give any answers. I say, well, it just happened. I mean, we don't know. And I really got upset sometimes because there were no answers. And every time I asked my mum and dad, you know, why? You know, why did this happen? And they saw the distress in my heart. They saw the frustration I had in me. And all they could say was, only God knows. Only God knows. You know, the doctors couldn't give any answers. There was no medical explanation for it. My mum was in fact a nurse back then and delivered many babies before I was born, and she knew exactly what to do and what not to do when she was pregnant with me. And so she took even precautions. She actually, you know, testimony in my book that's coming, she actually had a premonition that something was going to happen in her first pregnancy. So she didn't even take Panadol when she was having a headache or anything like that, you know, painkillers or anything like that. So she just made sure that everything that she did was fine, and just happened.